All right. Uh, so this is my first time in a while recording any kind of video game content. This is going to be pretty casual, mostly just to get my, just back in the habit of doing it. Um, so this is my first time playing No Man's Sky. I'm a little bit into the game, but not too far. I've been playing maybe 10 hours. I'd have to double check my stats. I've been interested in No Man's Sky for a while because supposedly it, got a lot better after its initial release, and I like the idea of exploration games. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna be playing the game a bit and commenting on my thoughts, I guess. And if people think that's fun, maybe some people will watch it. Probably just my friends. Hello, friends. And if you're not my friend, maybe you are now because you're watching my video. All right. I'm gonna be very honest about all the things I don't know about this game. So if you enjoy watching someone stumble around a little bit. So for instance, there's this thing called the Star Bramble, which I've seen around on several planets. It's very pretty. But I don't know how to get a hazmat gauntlet. I don't know if it's really worth getting right now. There's a lot of things you can do in this game, so you kind of just have to pick and choose what you're interested in. For anyone who doesn't know what this game is, so No Man's Sky, you are exploring a lot of different planets and a lot of different planetary systems, and they're all auto-generated. I am not sure how many this game can have. It's sort of infinite because they keep getting auto-generated, but there's other players you can run into theoretically, but most of these I'm 90% sure are just there for making you feel like the world isn't empty. Which is interesting because I was comparing it to Subnautica, and Subnautica, the part of the point is that you are alone. You can do base building, you do resource gathering, and then there's also a bit of a main story, which actually was one of the things I believe that was added after release, is this primary missions thing. So right now there's someone who was lost in space, or trying to use portals to go somewhere specific, and then apparently fell out of the portals midway. So we've got that one. It's calling it a main mission, but it doesn't actually seem like there's much I can do beyond do this, which is the other main mission. And then there's this thing called the Atlas, which I don't quite know that much about. So that one is maybe evil. One of the people who's helping you is very against it. So yeah, there's an Atlas interface up there. Maybe I'll show that later. So I wanted to do a little bit of not quite a tutorial, but just something to kind of orient you while watching, how No Man's Sky works. Because I'm not starting this from the beginning of the game, where you'd kind of be learning along with me. First thing you're introduced to is the mining tool. So you've got the mining beam, which lets you get, minerals. And then there's also the terrain manipulator, and that lets you can destroy the ground, and you can build it back up. So, or you can actually just restore it to the way it was. Those are the two main tools, and then the third main tool you should know about is the scanner. So, when you pull up your visor, you can look around at stuff. And also you can find resources, so if I looked at this, that's a sweet root. I can even tag it, and then it'll take me over there. One thing that's a little confusing is that it puts this way up high, but it's actually down here. And this will also show you the temperature of the planet and stuff, which, I mean, it's just flavor text, right? It doesn't actually affect anything, unless it's in the cold category or in the hot category. Anything in between doesn't really matter. Right now I'm trying to help the person who got lost, but it seems like it's always hard to reach her. And then they started talking about someone named Apollo, so I don't know anything about them, but that's the next person we're supposed to try to contact using this structure, I think? They're not telling me it's over here, which is interesting. I might go check out whatever this is if it's not related. Yeah, okay, that's supposed to be 600 units away. I'm not sure if unit is closer to a foot or a meter. Probably a meter. I feel like sciencey games like to use the metric system, but they just call it units, so they're not tied down to any specific thing. Oh yeah, another thing that's auto-generated are the animals and plants. So here, someone else. So in the top leftish, you can see it says discovered by Cabal 339. So someone else has already scanned this. So I'm guessing that there can be the same animal on different planets because I'm the one who discovered this planet. Like, I'm the first one who ever set foot here. I called it Pepsi Swirl. I don't. There's so many things in the game that I feel like it's not worth like overly worrying about the names. But it's called Pepsi Swirl because it's like red and blue, and it's got like that swoosh. I have Wraithstone is a good name. That wasn't by me. That was by P. Stibbins MTE. But yeah, anything that you discover, you get to name. But you'll notice that like a lot of people just use the auto-generated name, and they don't bother to name it, which I feel like is a shame. Though I don't bother naming the minerals usually, because I don't know what are you supposed to base that on? I don't know. I get it. Like if you're playing for hundreds of hours, you don't actually feel like coming up with names for everything you come across. But I think it would be fun. I think it would be fun if more people would do that. Oh, also, while I was scanning, there's a knowledge stone, which I like, because I like getting words. So one thing I didn't know about this game is that there's like 3 or 4 different groups that all have language that you can learn. So you can learn language by talking to them and saying, help me, like, learn your language, and they'll teach you a word. Or you just come up to a knowledge stone. So Korvax are like the robot group. There's the Geks, who are kind of a little bit who are a little bit lizardy, maybe? I'm not sure the best way to describe them. And then there's the Viking, and they're kind of like orcs, maybe? Okay, yeah, so this is monolith. Yeah, I guess just calling it a monolith. I think I've found one of these before, but they've got knowledge stones around them, so you get a few at once. I have a lot of Gek words, because that was like the first... oh yeah, so when you look at like a planetary system, they'll have a dominant like life form there, so a dominant species. So like here, the Korvax are the main ones. My starting system... Yeah, this is where I started. So, I have a planet, or have a base on this planet, and I have a base on this one. This was the one that I very first landed on. I didn't get to name this system. It was interestingly only this planet had been discovered, but that counts as discovering the system. So 2 years ago. It's just funny like to think about how long people have been playing this game, and I'm just starting. But anyway, so this one, the main species like is the Gek. But even if you go to like a space station in that system, or like little settlements and stuff, like there's generally a variety, which I think is nice. I don't know, it feels like people are cooperating, I guess. It's not too isolated. But yeah, so that's why I have the most Gek words. Long story short. But this is the Korvax system, so like most of the knowledge stones here are going to be for the Korvax. Okay, I think that's all of them. Oh, it got really dark. Okay. Legacy of Gidia. A lot of the names are auto-generated too. So this must be in Korvax, and so the purple words, those are like the words that I know. The white words I don't. I also have a tool that every sentence, I think, or every like dialogue box, it'll give me one additional word translated. So right now I'm at the point in the game where I don't really understand what most of people are saying. The Geks, kind of more so. Like, I get pretty close with them. Blue light pours from the monolith, as if a curtain has been dropped within. I hear a gentle hubbub of voices and catch a familiar smell in the breeze. I cannot remember my home, but I know that this doorway leads there. I ache for a past I cannot remember. Every inch of my soul wants to make the leap back. I look to the skies and the infinite beyond. Can I truly abandon my journey when it's only just begun? Huh. I'm not sure of the significance of this. I'm assuming it's not gonna, like, permanently send me back to the past. It's probably, like, a flashback? I don't know. Well. Oh, okay. The portal slips shut as soon as I make a move. I feel the pity of the spirits that live in this place. So... Atlas. Okay, yeah. So the Atlas also has its own language, even though it's sort of associated with the Korvax. Like, they... It seems like the Atlas might be kind of a god figure, but it's a little unclear to me exactly. I haven't done as much of that, like, mission path. But yeah, you can learn Atlas words specifically. Okay, so it's this way a little bit, and I'm lazy, so I'm gonna fly. Oh boy, it's really dark. I might need to turn my monitor brightness. Alright, there we go. Yeah, every time you get out of your ship it saves, which is kind of interesting. These guys are called sentries? Or sentinels, sorry. And they will attack you if they catch you, like, mining near them or, like, taking resources, I guess. Yeah, the sentinels... People, like, want to... I don't know how to use weapons yet. I think I definitely could have by now, but I've just, like, not kind of bothered. See, if I could have come here directly, there's usually, like, a landing area so that your ship can just... It'll, like, auto-lock on, which is nice, but I think... Yeah, see, I can call it here. Alright, I'm just gonna save... And do some scavenging. Okay. Oh, there are also, like, there are hazardous animals, like animals that will attack you, but so far they've been pretty rare. And again, I just, like, kind of prefer to run away. I, like, can't be bothered. This isn't really, like, a elegant combat system. Yeah, like I said, I'm not that interested in it. I do enjoy, actually, I do enjoy the, so in space, there's, like, pirates. I do enjoy, like, the space fights. Just not as interested in the other combat that seems available, so, I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so we're gonna try to contact Apollo using this transmitter. Okay, so this is... They must be a Korvax, because that's what, like, the Korvax look like is... Or no, wait. I think actually that is a quote-unquote traveler design. The travelers are interesting because we already know their language. I guess we are one, even though we can kind of dress up or change our appearance to be any of the other races as well. But yeah. Just gonna say hi, I guess. Are we friends of Artemis? We're trying to help, but I mean, Artemis is how we know this person. Okay. That's a little edgy, man, I'm not gonna lie. I tell Apollo that Artemis is in trouble, that they attempted to use a portal and became stranded on some distant and uncharted world, disappearing from the network. Apollo's demeanor changes. They appear uncomfortable at the news. Apollo studies the log, pausing and replaying the various segments of static and distortions. They turn to me with a glow of excitement. Yeah, at one point we actually got sent, like, drawing of, like, the stars where she was, but they were, like, not matching any known system, which was kind of cool. Idea? Yeah, that's kind of what I was talking about earlier with the Sentinels. Interesting. Yeah, I don't really know what a Sentinel event is, though. I don't think it really matters. Like, this isn't a choice-based game, so it's kind of just, like, how you feel. I'll just agree. I don't care. I don't need to argue with this random person about their values. Sure, let's be partners. Okay. Yeah, one of the nice things about doing the main quest is you unlock a lot of tools. So, like, you get sent blueprints and stuff. Or perhaps it was nothing. A ghost in the machine. Alright. It's a new day on Pepsi Swirl. Oh yeah, the bottom right, you'll see that's the jetpack meter, and then similarly there's a sprint meter. So the first time this happened to me, where these bunch of ships just appeared in the sky, I thought it was something major, but again, I think it's just there to make it seem like it's a very lived-in world. I'm gonna do a little scavenging again. Encrypted navigational data has a couple uses. You can, like, trade it in for maps, and then you can also use it to summon your spaceship. I might head out to the space station, because from there I can teleport back to my base. I do like how there's different modes of flight. So your basic one doesn't actually use any fuel, which is nice. So just like using this, like, you'll never get stranded anywhere, but you'll just go really slowly. Relative, like, in space. On a planet, it's a decent speed. It gives you a sense of the scale, and it gives you a sense of, like, existing in a 3D weightless environment, which is fun. But yeah, you can see as I'm doing this, so this is just my normal thrusters, it will take 2 hours to get there. And then also doesn't use fuel, so like the same mode, quote unquote. You can do like a boost. And now that goes from 2 hours to 18-ish minutes. Then you have what's called the pulse engine. And that'll take us there in like 30 seconds. Deep space object detected. Okay. Kind of was not in the mood to do that, but let's see. Oh, I just hit it. I misunderstood how far away that was. Okay. Okay, I gotta resist them. The ship is broadcasting the same message over and over, an endless loop. Its message has decayed over time, but there are still salvageable coordinates amidst the noise. I shut down my receiver and input the coordinates to my starship's navigation systems. One final check reveals no life signs, no further intelligent message from the abandoned vessel. Huh, okay, well I don't want to do that right now, but I will in a minute. So, yeah, okay. There's another level, which is the hyperdrive. Okay, yeah, so you've got the pulse engine, and then you've got the hyperdrive, and the hyperdrive is what allows you to go between star systems. You can hop to specific ones based on what you're doing. You can also enter, like, free roam and just kind of move around to select stars. Alright, so when you're in a system, but on a planet, you're probably just using this, like, the normal drive. And then when you're in space, like going between planets, in a system, you're using the pulse engine. And then if you're trying to go between solar systems, planetary systems, you're using the warp drive. that's how it works. Okay. So this one has a, once you get into the light, start spinning around, and it'll just lock you into place. I do get a little bit motion sick playing games, so often I close my eyes during that part so I don't get as sick. But this is what a space station looks like. They're all the same layout. Even if they're like different factions or different like species, then it's gonna have the same things. So that's for your exosuit, which is like your suit that you're wearing. You can buy upgrades for that. Then you've got your multi-tool, which is like lets you mine things basically. At some point I probably need to buy a better one, but I don't really know what's worth it to get. This is missions, this like kind of checklist looking one. Then there's the shop basically, it's just an interface. So there's just like kind of generic parts and stuff. That's portals, and you can access any portal that you've ever been to. That's for your spaceship upgrades. That's for something called exo vehicles, which I haven't messed with. I don't really care at this point. And then that's the cartographer, so you can buy maps that'll like take you to a specific resource. So if you want like a certain upgrade, you can buy that map. But for now I'm just going to use the portal to go back to my base. This is like my first, so I had like the first base that the game makes you build on the very first planet, but I mostly have been using this base as like my main base of operations. It's a pretty planet, and it's like not dangerous. So a lot of planets are either like too hot, too cold, or radioactive, or something else where it's always draining your shields. This one doesn't have anything like that, so it's good. It also has like a large amount of plants and animals, and it's just pretty, you know. Also nice playing about this space in particular is there's like a little settlement down here. So sometimes the small settlements will sell you things that the space stations don't have, or they have different prices. I could like seal this in with 4 walls, but I don't really care because it's kind of pretty. I kind of like the what do you, open concept. Oh. Interesting. Battery depleted. Grid status not connected. Something's not right. It's supposed to be connected to the solar panel. Might need to do... I don't exactly understand how the grid logic works. And I think maybe what was happening is that the battery was trying to power the lights, but didn't have any energy, so it couldn't power the lights, but also it wasn't charging because it was trying to power the lights. So I think because I attached the solar panel directly to the lights, the solar panel is charging the lights and the battery. I don't know why, that doesn't logically make sense, but it's whatever, you know. Also, okay, the main thing I come here for is like the refining. So I don't even know exactly what all can be refined. Rusted metal can become like metal dust, and then the metal dust can be refined into other things. I feel like, you know, it's a pretty common system. Or maybe it's easier to see in the inventory. Yeah, so you have like ferrite dust, then you have like pure ferrite, and then you've got magnetized ferrite. So like it's the same element that's been further and further refined. Oh, I need to store this actually, because I don't have a use for it yet. It's specifically for freighters, and I have like a fighter class. That's another thing, like getting into like building your own ship or buying a new ship. I have no idea what the options even are. Huh? Construction terminal. Was that part of, like... I've established the core of a habitable base out in the wilds. Okay. So yeah, you can have, like, workers. I did sort of know about that. Where did I get this? I think Apollo gave it to me. Do I have the parts for it? And I do. No, it doesn't seem to need power. Okay. Constructing terminal requires a skilled overseer for operation. You can recruit overseers in space stations. Okay. I guess I might as well go to this one. I'm not sure if warping to the system you're already in is a little faster. It seems like it is, because that was pretty quick versus when I was warping to my base last time. Wait, what the heck? Is it always this purple? I guess so. I think that might be a species thing, too. I'm not sure. Like, purple is... Gek? Or maybe purple is just random, like the color is random on top of the species being random? Not sure. Sorry. I just like color. But yeah, I'm going to show you learning words. So, I know a good amount of Gek, right? Oh, I can't... I guess this counts as the same day? I'm not sure. Planetary. Oh. Okay. That's fine. Planetary chart contains directions to a point of interest. So, like, if I go here... But I don't need to do that. Oh, so there isn't one here. Hire staff from space stations, but I'm at a space station. I can't use this one. Oh yeah, these are the... This is a Vy'keen. So yeah, we've got Vy'keen, Gek, and you seem stuck. But that's, Korvax. So they're, like, robotic. It's saying I need to go out here. Why do I need to go out there? This is a space station. Oh, this is a traveler. I think. But I can't seem to interact with them. Huh. They're, like, holographic a lot of times when you see them. It's weird. Well, 1,000... It's not that far. Is that out in space? Corvette Workshop. I have not actually looked at this. Basic modules required. Purchase modules. What's a Corvette? That's quite expensive. I might just do like a quick Google search at some point to be like, what are the options for spaceships? Cash? Where would this take me? These things were labeled. What is that? Prevent workshop terminal. Oh my gosh. It's like this is one thing that is annoying about the game that I've seen people complain about, is that it'll just like randomly switch you to a different... Oh my gosh, okay, here it is. It was hidden in the next level. I need... Okay. I'm just gonna assume that I have to run out here. It's pretty close, so... Does seem to be the end. So maybe I ran out all the way here for nothing. Yep, see I can't go this way any further. Alright, so that was pointless. Why does it say it's 161? So it's like right there. But I don't see like anything there? Okay, well, time to walk back. Alright, that at least cut it down. Okay, so I guess I'll just go out here in the ship then. You've got to be kidding me. No, it's just saying the whole space station is. Why was it telling me it was out there then? Now it seems to be pointing at a certain person now. I think that maybe was just a glitch. Because look, now it's up here. Okay. I'm not sure what that means, but I mean, gameplay-wise, it means that you don't have to pay to have someone work on your base, which is nice. Yeah, so the Geks are kind of interesting because they seem to also use like spell and communication, which is an interesting experience. Yeah. Myself in a mirror, aged and alone, of a bargain made many years from now. The vision ends and the overseer remain. Sure. There is something compelling about this death. They shall feel at home in my home. So, interestingly, they were speaking, and I could understand everything they were saying. So whatever, like, language the travelers speak, I guess? Oh, another thing that's funny about teleporting is your ship also teleports with you. Alright. Hello. Oh, I already have a bunch of glass, but okay. Thank you. Shatterproof, scratch-resistant glass with the self-cleaning UV-cured coating for general construction use. Refined from silicate powder. Can be crafted from frost crystals extracted from plants on frozen worlds. I already have... silicate is way easier to get. Everything pours through glass in the end, but there's time enough for that. There are the things we have to do. If you prepare chromatic metal, I will use it to calibrate a science terminal suitable for a Corvax entity. The Corvax have suffered terribly at the hands of my people. Okay. Be kind to them, I beg of you. Sure. I should have a good amount of that. There you are again, traveler. I'm sure you have the required materials this time? Didn't I have it before? Oh, okay. So yeah. The Overseer speaks strangely, implying that we have performed this encounter before. I have no memory of such meetings. I ask who paid them for the service they are performing for me. They laugh and claim that my child did, many years from now. I do not know what they are talking about. The Overseer asked me for the chromatic metal. Here you go. Perfect, friend. I knew you would succeed. Just what I need to finish the science terminal plans. Okay. Research station tailored to the needs of scientists and equipped for research and development of scientific blueprints. Interesting. I already have a storage container. I have to say, I don't like species-wide personality traits applied, even if they're trying to be like, oh, but not everyone's like that. I don't know. I guess, obviously stereotypes exist in real life, so they would exist in a game, but then it's like, even though stereotypes are based on something, I feel like stories often give them too much logical credit. Here's another point. Traits often are both good and bad when you're talking about culture. So, like, you could have a culture like the US, where I live, which is very individualistic, which has positives of, like, you do you kind of attitude. Obviously, that doesn't universally apply, even then. Like, there's plenty of people who want to enforce more conformity. But in general, there's this idea that America really values, like, personal freedom. So, that's, like, the positive. The downside to, like, everyone just kind of do your own thing, everyone can be free to do what they want, is that when you want to do things that require collective action and cooperation, people can be kind of like, well, why do I have to? I don't have to. I'm free to do whatever I want. Any trait is generally not just going to be like, oh, this is just a greedy culture. Like, that's not usually how it works in real life. Anyway, this is a very long tangent, but I already have a storage container. So I think that it's just jumping me forward in a mission. Or I can just go ahead and build a science terminal? I'm not sure. Let's kind of just make like a row of... But it does kind of block my ship. Well, maybe I'll move it later. Hire space scientists from a Corvex space station. Sure. Okay, this has got the flag for the potential scientist recruit, so I'll just go here. Lowroll is a place that I got to name. It is hard to think of, like, what to call a system, because I don't feel like we usually talk about... So, like, the solar system is named the solar system because our sun is called Sol, right? So technically, when you're talking about other solar systems, you're supposed to call them, like, planetary systems. Though, I don't know. Like, the Milky Way. First of all, that's the name of our galaxy. Whatever, doesn't matter. Dollars, profitable systems. So that's like a, what do you call it? Just a utility name. The Astiach 11, Ezuarkek 16, like all of the ones with the Roman numerals, those are auto-generated. Okay. Passed my test. I wonder what test that is. Like, for the Corvax, or is that something more specific? Okay, yeah, they seem to have completed some rite of passage for their species. Scientist offers to join my base if I provide them with a science terminal. Sure. Oh yeah, the Corvax often scan you. Like, they have a very science focus. They also might be hooked up to a bit of a hive mind, or like maybe kind of like an internet where like they can exchange information. They definitely seem to not all be like, it's not like pluribus. I've just figured out recently that the gray words are like talking about missions that you've activated. There's gotta be a way to abandon missions. I don't want to make a Corvette. I don't have enough money to make a Corvette. I don't even really know what that means. Find base traveler as of course befits your honorable status. Oh, Corvax shall be so happy here. It's a pretty basic base, but I'm glad you like it. Welcome or request aid? I don't know, welcome them. Twitless, the monolith of the traveler. Lubricant and acid blueprints. Okay. Agricultural products. It's not how I would have classified them, but I guess it kind of makes sense. Like, lubricants usually are oils, which can come from plants. And I don't know, like, I don't know if I would just think of that as chemical, I guess. Marabulb. I do have some, I think. Thank you. I don't have any windows. The Corvax is desperate to please, showering me with praise and offers of assistance. They tell me travelers are to be honored, raised above all others. What have I done to earn such esteem? Literally nothing. I did save one ship, but that is not why they're doing this. Marble and cobalt, which are found in caves, yeah. Oh, advanced refiner. I did want that. So the other way you can get new things is there's like a research unit. It doesn't really matter which one you pick. So you can unlock new blueprints here. As far as I've seen, I actually was looking for windows, and I haven't seen any windows. Timber framed glass panel. I guess it's just like a sunroof, I think? Yeah, these are roof/floors. But I don't see... Oh, wait. Twin timber windows. So it's kind of focusing on... I do kind of like the look of stone. Stone power door. Slit window, which isn't... It's not very big. But frontage is kind of a bigger window. I think that's what happened. I was looking at the stone stuff and being like, there isn't really like a proper window. What's going on? But other things have a bigger window. Alloy window. I don't know. I just like being able to see. I don't know. It's... If I can, I would just have all of my walls be made of windows. Okay, so I need to find more marl bulbs. So here... I kind of want to make a little bit more of a gradual slope, because last time I fell in here I died, or not died, but I hurt myself. Just have to remember that it's steep. Okay, so... I actually wasn't trying to hit that, but okay. Okay, I definitely have enough cobalt, I think, for what they wanted. Okay, so these are what the cave mallow are, but they're not... What did I thought? I guess, so there's like... This is one thing that's sort of fair, but confusing, which is that some of the flora that you can see is not anything. You can't mine it, at least. And some of it is. Okay, wait. Cave mallow. Oh, no, it's not these little guys. It's this, like, taller one. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. They have... These... It's funny, they look like they have the marrow on them, but that doesn't... It's just part of how they look. And I need one more. Oh, this one isn't that tall. So what the fuck? Did I just see a bird? Marrow bulbs. Let's see how many I have now. Oh wow, I have even more than I thought. Okay. These guys, I called them root walkers, but they are other types that kind of look like this. It's interesting, like, obviously there's only so many elements that you can put together if you're going to be making, you know, auto-generated creatures and stuff. But I'm a little disappointed that I've already seen, like, a lot of things that look pretty similar. Like, I would have hoped for a little bit more variety. I almost wonder if they would have been better off having fewer animals in the game. You're less likely to run into duplicates if each planet has fewer, but I'm sure, you know, they've got their reasons. Alright. Oh? Something has happened? Okay, here you go. What? Yeah, okay, so this is what I was talking about. There's like a little bit of a connected mindscape, internet, interweb kind of thing that the Korvax have. Microprocessor and large refiner. Okay, definitely want a large refiner, because it lets you do more advanced stuff. Okay. Okay, they literally are calling it a hive mind. Oh, okay, sure, that's... That's pretty intense. Yeah, so they talk about having, like, shells as their bodies, and then I guess the cores is... here... is there any reason to have both? Like, let's see. Large refiner. Ooh, I don't have enough though. So I don't know, I'll just keep an eye out for some copper deposits. Deposits look like this with like the diamond-y shape. But I think I've gotten all the copper near me. Oh, well, that's kind of near me. Well, alright, okay. Coordinates for the thing I'm trying to do right now. So for that, I'm going to go ahead and get my ship. Okay, that's good. That's enough fuel for now. So every time you take off, not from a launch pad, it uses a certain amount of your launch fuel. But it's pretty easy to refuel. Like, it's not that big of a deal. But that's not... That's cool, but I actually want to see what this is. I think this is... a building. Oh, it's like abandoned, that's why. Wait. I don't know what that symbol's there. User identified. Terminal active. Accessing schematics. So wait, is this the place I was supposed to go to? I think sometimes like the coordinates are not exact, so but the overseer isn't the scientist. Oh no, wait, that's right. That was like a separate thing. I'd sort of forgotten the overseer had asked me to go find something. Oops. No. Oh, I did... okay. I don't want the overseer. I was trying to do the other guy. I guess it's further than I realized? Or maybe I was on the wrong... I might have been on the wrong mission, actually. Alright, so the transmission tower, I believe, should definitely have a launch pad, so I can show you finally what that is. Oh, here's one. I don't think this is the launch tower, or the... sorry. I don't think this is a transmission tower, but I can show you. So when it turns green, I can just hit the landing button, and it will land me down. Oh, are you copper? Because that would be very useful. Yes, okay. I'll do that in a sec. Is this a transmission tower? Maybe this is, actually. Okay. Elbergeil repeater. I prepared to insert the Korvax intelligence core into the transmission tower. The judgment of the convergence awaits. I wonder if they're mad because they're working with us? Error. Korvax science unit corrupted by traveler interaction. Personality overwritten. Anomaly involvement detected. Solution: quarantine Korvax science unit from convergence. Observe, analyze, silence. Hypothesis: Sentinel, Atlas, Universal Foci, countermeasure in progress. I'm not sure how these go together. Are they saying the hypothesis is from a Sentinel? The Sentinels don't seem to really... Huh. Risk assessment: entropic. Galactic destruction. Rebirth. Error. Atlas. Error. Error. They see you. Another tip that I read online is that if you... So for mining a deposit like this, you actually use the terrain manipulator rather than the mining tool, which is confusing. I almost feel like they should be called different things, but whatever, doesn't matter. Okay, so when you're doing this, if you use the smaller, so you can like make the radius bigger or smaller, and if you use the smallest size, you actually get more of the resource, even though it's also takes a lot longer to do it that way. So here we go. She's like, I think I've gotten it all, but why are the blocks still floating there? That's supposed to indicate like the edge. It was kind of a small deposit. I mean, I could fly somewhere else, or I could walk somewhere else. Silver, 200 away. Copper, 500. Copper, 900. Copper, 300. Copper, 700. That's not too bad. It's also kind of closer to the ship. Wait, I forgot. I can just do that. So now it's tagged in my UI. Very nice, Emma. Wasn't paying attention. Oh yeah, I guess I should refill that. Okay. Alright, here we go. So anytime you hear that, like, engine sound, there'll be ships in the sky, but they're not starship. Yeah, I think these are just NPCs, you know? Or not even NPCs, I don't think they're interactable in the first place. We're done. Ooh, starting to get a little motion sick. It's really too bad, like, when you like a game, but all your memories of it are a little bit tainted with a slight haze of nausea. Okie dokie. So back to base. It should be where that marker is. I'm assuming eventually I'll be able to build a launch pad by my base. Right now it's always a struggle to land as close as possible. So like, trying to land here, but it's not letting me because the ground isn't flat enough, I think. So, try over here. So now it's actually telling me why. Ugh, this is gonna make me more sick. Ugh, there we go. Yeah, you can kind of tell by how jagged it is that I built up this cliff side a little bit for my base. Because I liked how steep of a drop-off this is because it gives you the best view, right? Like, you can really see out into the distance. And you can see the little settlement down there. But the downside is, like, there wasn't a lot of flat space to work with, and I was just like, I'll just build it up. It's kind of finicky to do something that big, but this probably won't be like my long-term forever base, but I'm not really that worried about base building at the moment, just enough to be practical. Okay, let's help this guy out. Oh yeah, that's sad. We don't actually know what their reaction was. Oh. Interesting. I have to wait for a bit. I think that's the first time I've seen a real-time limit. Okay, I'm gonna take a little bit of a break anyway, because, like I said, I'm getting a little bit sick, and some other things I should work on probably. Bye for now, hope to see you in the next one.